everyone, it's me Jen from EmJustLikeYou, and today I have a new collection to share with you guys, and it is a collection that I was very excited to get my hands on just because I was very curious and just wanted to share with you guys as soon as possible my review on it. And it is the new M collection by Michelle Phan. I am so excited to share with you my thoughts on it. If you are here expecting a review that is going to rave about the collection completely, then you're not watching the right video, because here in my channel I want to be as honest as possible and share my opinion and my experience with the makeup and with the collection overall. Michelle is a very, very talented and passionate person, and I do support her, but I am not going to be biased just because she is a fellow makeup guru. So hopefully this review will help you guys make the decision of whether this collection is suitable for you guys or if you would like to buy it. Alright, so first of all, let's just straight get into the review, and let's start out with the packaging. I absolutely think the packaging is beautiful. I love, love, love these outside packagings. I love the fact that the color on it is really nicely done, and the resolution of the picture and the quality overall is beautiful. There's nothing that I can complain or would criticize about the packaging. The only downside to that is the fact that you don't really keep the packaging. You know, even though I feel guilty throwing this away, it isn't something that I am going to hold on to. So what I think is more important is going to be the packaging itself that the user is going to keep. And to me, honestly, I find that this packaging does not reflect the price that I paid for it. I paid $38 for the eyeshadow palette, and I find that the plastic packaging isn't as luxurious. I know Michelle Phan's customer age group is going to be younger, so she wanted something that's going to be more hip, more cool, fresh, and original. So she went with this plastic overlay over another white plastic. But personally, I find that it's very inexpensive looking and does speak for the brand itself. So I didn't really find the packaging to be very impressive. But what I do love about the packaging is the fact that the closure of it isn't a snap closure, but it is a magnetic closure, which is so much better in my opinion. Alright, so the first eyeshadow palette is this one I got right here. I absolutely love the colors. I really do have to give it to Michelle. I think that her color selections are really beautiful. Each palette has really great colors that are within it. What I wish that was different was the fact that the colors were all the same quantity. So instead of having a really big brown, warm brown color right here, I wish all of them had the same amount of product. I know that her idea for these palettes were to use these color out here as a liner color, these three right here as the main color for the lids, and a highlight color. But personally, in my opinion, I find that with a palette, I want to be able to recreate different looks, maybe use this all over the lid and not use it as a liner. And because I know she wanted to be able to guide you guys in creating a certain look and just kind of letting those who don't really apply makeup all the time or like to play with or experiment with makeup to have a great guide to follow. So using these as a liner and just sweeping this over the lid. But for me, I wanted to have the same amount of products, just because what if this color right here is my favorite and I wish this one had more product. I didn't want to use all of this up and not ever use the biggest, largest color. I think this is a great one to have if you want to wear it for every day, but then also you want to kind of glam it up a little bit for the nighttime. Another thing that I wanted to mention regarding these eyeshadow palettes is the fact that there isn't a name for certain colors. I know for the Life palette you can actually flip it over and see the names of each color, but this one I couldn't really find it anywhere. If you guys see it, please let me know. But I do notice that there is like a number system to it, so you can see what color, but if you wanted to know the name for reference to repurchase the color or something, it's a little bit harder. But the pigmentation, I do agree, there is great pigmentation, but the product isn't creamy, the product isn't very silky and smooth when you apply it. I feel it's a little bit drying. The quality of these I find could be comparable to BH Cosmetics as well as Coastal Scents. For me, I find that I wish there were more matte colors mixed with some shimmers rather than this whole palette right here is all shimmery colors. So those are some of the things that I would change about them, and that are my opinion. Of course, I do find that the color selection is beautiful. I think these are beautiful taupes and lavender colors, which are great sometimes when you're in a store with a whole lot of eyeshadows. It's hard for you to actually pick the colors that will look great together. So I think Michelle did a great job of picking the colors that goes inside the palette. I just wish that equal amount of products throughout the palette, as well as if there were more different variety of different finishes such as frost, shimmery, and matte. So moving on to the other palette that I got, which is the Shade Play in Rosy Baby. This is the blush and bronzer duo. I picked this palette in particular just because I found that the bronzer color didn't have any orange undertones as well as shimmer to it, and the blush color was very similar to Orgasm, and I know that is such a big hit for NARS, so I thought that it would be good to pick this palette up and see how the quality is. I do notice that when I got the palette, the bronzer color did have a little slight satin finish with a little bit of shimmer in it, but when you do apply it, I did not find any shimmer on the face, and I do absolutely love the bronzer. I love the fact that the color was very flattering for anyone from fair medium to medium skin tone, and I do find that it didn't have any orange, so it's really great for contouring. Even though it isn't like a gray cool tone for contouring, I do find that because of the warmth in it, it does give you a little bit of color, so it's a great bronzer. The blush in particular, I did find that the frosty satin finish was visible on the face, yet the color is very pigmented. Pigmentation is important for blush, but I do find that when you have too much pigment, and it's a little bit of a downfall, just because I find that you can either apply too much and also the finish isn't as smooth on the cheeks if it's too much pigmentation. It's a little bit harder to blend, which I did find that this one's a little bit too pigmented, but overall I do think that this palette is a good palette to have on the go, just because you do get a blush and a bronzer that are equally great in quality. I didn't want to just only get eyeshadows and blush powder products, so I did try to get some other products that I thought was a little bit more interesting. I know Michelle Phan is really big on concealer just because she says she never sleeps. Poor girl, she is such a great entrepreneur. So I really wanted to check out her take on a great concealer. And the one that I purchased is the Great Cover Up. This is the ultimate concealer, she says. And I got my color in medium warm. I do find that all the concealer, as you can see in the swatches on the website, they have a lot of yellow undertones, which is great for us Asians, but I'm not sure about those who do have a cooler undertone with pink or redness to their skin. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but for me, this color was a little bit too yellow for me, and it didn't cover my dark circles as well, just because it's a little bit too yellow. I'd like a little bit of a salmon orangeness to my concealers when I am covering dark spots. So for the quality wise, I do find that this has really great coverage. It isn't sheer, but the only thing that I am really concerned about is the fact that it does have this oily texture to it. It's not a sticky texture. Usually concealer that has a sticky texture is going to stay on longer as long as you set with a powder, then it isn't going to crease. With this one, I find that there is a oil base to it that is going to settle into the lines and separate. I'm sorry to say, but I found that this concealer was definitely a miss for me, just because I don't have that many lines, but because I do have a bit of a puffiness underneath my eyes, it did settle into my lines and start to separate. When I put it on, and as soon as I left the house, I went down in my car and I checked in the mirror, and I found that it already started separating, and it was really hard for me to fix it and blend it out. So definitely this is not something I would recommend. One of the ingredients that is in this concealer is kaolin, and kaolin is actually a rock mineral that you usually use in clay masks to harden the mask and firm the skin. So I do notice that maybe the reason why this kaolin was selected to be in this concealer is for the fact that it can help firm up the skin around the area and keep the concealer in place. But I noticed because it is a clay after all, it is going to be drying, and it does accentuate your lines and in the end cause it to look kind of cracky around the eyes. So I do not suggest this. This is the Waterline Intense Eye Color, and I bought it in rose gold. And the reason why I bought this is because I know Chanel came out with a rose gold that I was really excited about, but I was very disappointed in the quality that Chanel came out with. It was very drying and hard to apply on the waterline. But I did find that this one in particular by Michelle Phan was actually really great. It lasted out the whole day for me, and it really does brighten up the eye. I wish I purchased a black just so that I can see how it is, if it transferred or smeared, just because a rose gold color is a little bit hard for me to see. But I do think that this is a great color to open up your eyes and make your eyes look a lot more awake. Alright, so the next product is one that I was most excited about when I made my purchase on EmCosmetics.com. And it's the Duo Contouring and Highlighter Stick. So on one side, it is a highlighter cream stick, and on the other side, it is the contouring kind of cream bronzer side. I was really excited about this just because it's such a great item to have in your makeup kit if you're on the go, and easy because you can just use your fingers to apply the product. For the packaging wise, I do like the packaging. I think that it's very sleek and very practical in my opinion. I love the fact that it has like secure snap to it. But the only thing I would have to say is the fact that I don't know which one is the highlighter and which one is the contour without opening it. So when you open it, it does say it in the inside, but you would have to open it. And honestly, if I open it, I'd rather just look and see if it's the lighter color or the darker color rather than read it. So about the product inside, the highlighter color is beautiful. I find that it does glide on really nicely, but then it actually dries to a powder, so it's really great to blend. I honestly really love the highlighter side. I find that I can use it for my cheekbones, really great for precision on your Cupid's bow right here. And I really love to use it underneath my brows and on top of my brows to really accentuate the brows. But the only thing I do have to say is that the longevity of it isn't that long, but it is a great touch-up product to have in your bag. The other side is the bronzer side, and for this one I was really excited because this will give you really great precision in order to contour your nose, your cheekbones, or anywhere that you needed to contour. But for the product itself, I find that when I apply it onto my face, and if I was to rub it or to when I'm blending it, it kind of has like, it comes off in this really weird rubbery residue on my face. So it kind of isn't that great of a product. It doesn't dry into a powder like the highlighter does. It actually sets on the skin, looks kind of great, but then if you were to touch it a little bit to blend it out a little bit more, if you blend too much, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, then it will start to come off and look kind of like when you erase on your paper and residue of the erasers on the paper. Well, it's kind of similar to that, but it's on your face. So I didn't really like that. Alright, so the last product is a lip product. I didn't know which lip product I should purchase, but because this one was really highly recommended and advertised by Michelle Phan, I really wanted to try it, which is the Pillow Plush Lip Balm in Bubblegum is the one that I got. It's very similar to MAC's lip conditioner, but this one I find that it didn't last as long on the lips, and the smell is just too strong for me. Like, I know a lot of you girls probably love those type of smells that smells like cookie, cake, cupcakes. For me, I don't really like that. I don't like anything that is like vanilla, cupcake, butterscotch. So the smell really bothered me, and the smell really lingered for a very long time on my lips. So that part I didn't really like, but overall I do think the quality is pretty great. But for the price, I don't think that it is something I would recommend, just because you're not getting that much product. You're only getting 5 grams, and because you have to dig your hand or your finger into the product all the time, it isn't a very realistic product to have to carry around. I'd rather just opt it out for like maybe a lip butter or something. Alright, so you guys, that is basically my review, my own opinion, and my own experience with the M Cosmetics line. I hope you guys found that it was honest and that it was helpful. I'm sorry if you guys really wanted to hear me rave and just say how great it is, but I want to be honest to my viewers, and I hope that you guys can appreciate that. Alright, so I hope that you guys enjoy this, and if you want to see more reviews, please subscribe to my channel. The next review that I'm going to film is the Marc Jacobs makeup collection, so come back for that. Alright, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!